Good day, everybody. This is your boy Morel. Welcome to Morel's Man Cave, where we keep the party going. Today's topic is about something that a lot of men experience, and women, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, you give these terrible opportunities to men, and it should never be this way. And today's topic is: will you raise to be a son husband? To the outside, I'm gonna give you the woman's point of view. I'm raising my son to be the most masculine man possible, to be the protector of his house and his home, so forth, so on. From a man's point of view, looking as I was never this, but if a man was a son husband, there's a lot of things that his mom was doing to him that's not going to benefit him long term in his long term relationships. Let's go through this journey and talk about a couple of different topics right fast to explain what is a son husband. First and foremost, a son husband is a son of a mother who's a single mom and doesn't have a man around at all for whatever reason. That's a huge issue. We're going to push that to the side. We're going to strictly stick to the subject at hand, a son husband. So now this son is maybe at birth, maybe at 1 years old, maybe at 2 years old, maybe at 3 years old, maybe at 5 years old. He is the man of the house because there's no other man in the house. And indirectly, women don't even notice this. They are making the son husbands the best version of a man that they never had before. They're making their sons that version of that man. I'll give you an example. The mom is like, hey, why don't you go make me some breakfast? If she had a man in the house, the chance of that happening would be real slim to none. But because it's her son's going to do it. Yeah, mama, cool. So now her son is becoming indirectly Chef Boyardee, and there's no problem with a boy learning how to cook. Let's make that clear. She's saying to her son husband, hey, come over here and rub my feet. Come over here and do something for me. Hey, women are always right, correct? And the son, being the son husband who has to follow along lines with his mom, yeah, mom, all women are correct. All women are good. Now, that son at, let's say, from birth to maybe 5 years old, at some point became a son husband. Now he's 18 years old. Now he's 25 years old. And he meets a woman. Let's call her Janet, Rebecca, Karen, Maria, whatever her name is, whatever her race is almost irrelevant. And because of the way he was raised, he's doing the same exact things he did for his mom as a son husband. He's rubbing his girl's feet, but there's nothing wrong with rubbing her feet. Let's make this clear. He's cooking her Chef Boyardee meals. And here's the bad part about being a son's husband. He's agreeing with all of her talking points. And she is like, I like this guy, but I don't like this guy because he's agreeing with everything that I'm saying. Now, ladies, what did I say wrong? Do you really want a man to agree with everything you want? And I know someone gonna be in the background. Hell yeah, I want a man to agree with everything that I'm saying. For every man who agrees with everything you're saying, where's he at right now? Why isn't this magical man who's agreeing with everything you're saying not in your life? The reason why is because it doesn't exist. So indirectly, by a mom training her son indirectly, make that clear, to be agreeable to all of her terms and conditions, she's putting him in a bad position in the dating world. And then now, as a mom, she's seeing her son at 18, 20 years old, 24 years old, whatever the age may be, getting destroyed by women. Like, damn, my son getting taken advantage of by all these women. What's going on? All I taught him was this to cook and rub my feet and agree with everything a woman says. And why is it women taking advantage of that? The reason why is because it's not beneficial to the man. You tailor-made your son to be all the things you want in a man that you never had before. Not knowing when that son grows up to be older, the woman that he meets in the future is going to break him down and basically use him for all the things that you taught him. The things you should be teaching your son is how to change a tire, how to take out the trash, how to be masculine, and most importantly, whole frame. That's the things you should be teaching your son. But unfortunately, women don't have the skill set to do these things. So what do? They turned their son into the best version of a man that they ever dreamed of before. You know what? I want a man to be able to do hair. I want to make my son learn how to do my hair. You know what? I want a man to just give me every dollar he ever makes in his whole entire life. If y'all really don't pay attention, there's a lot of sons right now who are 16 years old and are now eligible to work who hate working with the passion. It's not because they hate the grind of getting up in the morning or after school and actually working and get a couple of dollars. It's because their mom is like, give it to me. And he's thinking to himself, wait a minute, I'm 16 years old. And for my first time ever in my whole entire life, it's my first chance to make some money. If I make hypothetically with school hours and everything, if I make $100 every 2 weeks, $200 every 2 weeks, whatever that amount of money is, and the mom's going like this, the kid's like, why am I even working? What the kid doesn't know is that for the rest of his life, if he doesn't hold frame, every woman going forward is going to be like this for every dollar he makes. Now, as a mom, do you want your son to be giving away all his money to quote unquote random women? You're training him to do that. You don't even know it because he's making money. I could see if you said, hey, son, give me your money. I'm going to hold on to it for a rainy day. That's a whole nother discussion. What most moms do, the son's making hypothetically $200 every 2 weeks. Give me the money. Maybe $180, $150. Mom's taking that money. She getting her hair did. She buying new shoes. She has a son husband. Is this really making sense right now? Women, you guys are raising your sons to be son husbands, and they didn't sign up for that. They didn't get down on one knee. They didn't propose to you. They're trying to be a kid, but you're training to be a husband, and not just a husband, a terrible husband. Terrible. Now, and there's nothing wrong with men cooking. I'm gonna make this real clear. However, when these men are cooking way more than the women, what are they attracted to? They're attracted to women who can't cook. And in a long-term dynamic of a relationship, it might be 2 months, it might be 2 years, it might be 20 years down the road. The man is like, damn, my wife can't even cook. But why is he attracted to that? Because his mom trained him to be like that. Am I connecting the dots? The kid's growing up at 16 years old, earn a couple $100 every 2 weeks, whatever the amount of money is, and the mom is like this. So going forward, he's thinking that every woman is going to be like, give me your money. And of course, because his mom indirectly trained him that way, he's giving up the money. So he's a Chef Boyardee, not a problem. He is a giver of money, a protector, or actually not a protector, he's a provider. Okay, cool. Another thing, why does your son know all of these, what's her name? Sexy Red songs? How did your son know the Sexy Red? Do you think your son, when there's 10 other boys around and he's rapping Sexy Red lyrics, is that cool? He's talking about Glorilla. He's talking about Meg Thee Stallion. He knows all the Beyonce songs. What are you doing to your son? Do you know you're giving your son a huge disadvantage? Your son's walking around with his hand like this because it's a natural position to him because he sees his mama doing it all the time. This is the true definition of a son husband. But ladies, I'm not here to bash you for this. I'm just showing you the long-term effects of what's going to happen when you make your son a son husband. He's going to be giving away all of his finances to the women in his life because you trained him to do that, knowing he should be paying the bills, saving some money for a rainy day, and most importantly, protecting his family. But no, he won't even get to the family part because all the girls are going to be using them. Hey, you made some money, you get the money to your mama, give it to me. In his head, I give my mama money, I got to give my woman some money. And she not even his woman. She could be in the friend zone. But because he's so used to giving away his money, he'll give away to every girl. Let me even say every girl. The majority of girls in his life, he's going to give them their money. It's not right. Long-term effects. Then you'll be like, women will say, take your mom out situation. Now I'm going to the 20 to 35-year-old women, and they're saying, I want a masculine man. I want a man who can protect and provide for me, a God-fearing man. And then they meet your son, And they find out real fast he ain't what they're looking for. Why? Because he knows all the Sexy Red songs. Because he's Chef Boyardee and refuses to let her cook in the kitchen. Because he's giving her every dollar that he ever makes. And she thinking to herself, damn, I ain't even got to earn this. This sounds cool. I'm going to take advantage of this. But as far as me being romantically involved with this guy long term, absolutely not. Why? Because he has no frame. This is say, best case scenario, if the son husband meets a woman, whatever her name is, and they get married. Over time, these red flags that women been saying since the beginning of time are going to start coming out. And they can start looking back on this life and be like, damn, why can't I hold frame? Because you were raised by a woman. Why do I give all my money to this woman just randomly? Because your mama indirectly made you give all the money from your paychecks to women, which is your mom, at all times. She never taught you to tell women no. She taught you believe all women. All women are good. And we all know they're not. If you line up 100 women, matter of fact, line up 100 women, ask them how many true female friends they have. I'm going to almost go and say they probably have less than 2. Now they got associates that they hang out with. They might go on a girl trip, so forth, so on. I'm talking about true friends. To me, a true friend is at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can wake up, or just never wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You can call your home girl and be like, hey, I'm in a bind. Come get me right now. No questions asked. This person's going to come and get you. That's a friend. Everybody else is associates. So if a lot of women don't have friends and you're training your son to believe all women, what have you just done to your son? You have just told your son to believe a whole bunch of lies. Am I preaching to the choir right now? Am I speaking the truth? Am I cooking? I got some truth in here. I got some knowledge in here. I got some, it's not even woman bashing. Some men things is going to make them better. I'm cooking. I'm making sure this message gets out. I don't care if 2 people watch this video. I don't do it for the views. I don't do it for the money. I'm doing it for the men who don't even understand what they get themselves into. They don't even understand what they get themselves into. And a lot of women don't know what they've done until it's over with. It's 2025, soon to be 2026. If you go from men between 20 years old and 35 years old, how many of those men are actually dateable and marriageable? I'm going to say the answer is pretty darn low. Why? Because a lot of these men were raised by single moms. And they raised them to be what? Son husbands. And son husbands, long term, are not the best candidates for marriage from women. They'll use them for their money. They'll use them for Uber Eats. They use them for whatever they want to use them for. But as far as like taking them seriously, they might do it for a couple months, might do it for a couple years. But after a while, the long-term plan is over with. Ladies, get the men who's the father of your kid involved in that kid's life. Stop being quote unquote selfish. I get it. It might have been a one night stand. I get it. It might have been a 1 month fling. I got it. It might have been 2 or 3 years. I got it. It might have even been a married man. We got to talk about that on another episode. It might have been a married man that you had a baby with. Get the man involved. Now, worst case scenario, I get it. He's not involved to whatever reason. We need to go to the courts and say, hey, court, not only do I want him to get some money from him, which I don't have a problem with child support. I'm a huge fan of child support. What I'm saying is y'all got to figure out a way to make sure that man is involved in that kid's life and stop making it so difficult for the man to see the kid. Well, that's a whole nother episode. My episode today is talking about being a son husband. Let's break it down from the beginning all over again. At some point, may have been at birth, 1 year old, 2 years old, 5 years old. At some point, the mom became a single mom. Or maybe she's been single the whole entire time. It's irrelevant. The son is here. I'm talking about boys only. The son is here. And she's like, you know what? I never had a man to do X, Y, Z. I want him to be tailored to me and not thinking about him long term, about how he's going to pay for what's going on in his life. And it's like, damn. I made my son a bitch. And you didn't even know it. She's like, I want my son to be a giver of money. Well, that sounds cool to you, but for every other woman, she's going to take advantage of it. I want my son to be Chef Boyardee. Congratulations, he's Chef Boyardee. He wants no other woman cooking. Is that what women really want? They say they want that. I'll make this real clear. You line up 100 women. I want my man to be a Chef Boyardee until he's cooking every meal. And she's like, well, shit, what am I here for? Besides some bedroom fun, maybe a conversation or two, what am I here for? And the answer is you're just here because he's doing everything. Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't care if I'm wrong or right. The whole purpose of this video is just to have a conversation. When you start talking, I think it starts, there's so many men that's been divorced right now, and they finally figure out why they got divorced, and they'll never tell their mom this, but indirectly, they're mad at their moms. And the reason they're mad at their moms is because their mom never told them, don't believe all women. Tell women, let's say tell women, be a good cook. Don't get me wrong, but don't take over the kitchen. You shouldn't be doing a whole bunch of females' hair. It's not the most manly thing to do. As women say they like that stuff, they're not romantically attached to it. It's like this. Men, I want you to really take this lesson right fast. Women say one thing, but follow their actions. I'll give you a great example. Women will say, I want a God-fearing man. That sounds great and it's true. There's no denying it. But who's the father of their kid? Is he a God-fearing man? Probably not. I want a man who is 6 feet tall. Who's the father of their kid? He's like 5'8". I want a man who is real confident and ambitious. The father of their kid is a pookie. What are we talking about here? I'm telling you, men, to go off of the actions of a woman and not her words. Don't. It's kind of like this. You need to vet everybody and vice versa. They're vetting you. They're asking you questions. Hey, what do you do for a living? I'm an accountant. In her head, she's like, okay, an accountant probably makes between $50,000 to $100,000. You say, I'm a work at McDonald's. She's like, wait a minute, that's like between $30,000 and $50,000. I can't deal with that. She's selecting you off of your job title. You're selecting her off of her past. We're totally different. She wants the future. You want the past. She wants to know that when she lets her guard down and has a kid or two by you, she's like, you know what? He can hold it down while I'm pregnant, after I done had the baby, and going forth and so forth and so on. Cool. The man is like, what's her past like? She's saying she wants a God-fearing man, but she got 2 babies by a pookie. She's saying she wants this tall individual, but he's 5'8". That don't add up. And we're playing this gymnastic game, and it all boils down to the beginning of the son husband. Woman met man. Woman, more than likely, not all the time, broke up with the man or was never in a relationship with the man. Could have been a one-night stand. Could have been a 1-month fling. It could have been something, or it could have been a married man. We don't talk about that enough. Now it's something, and the man is gone for whatever reason. The son is there. She's tailoring the son to be custom made for her, and she's not thinking about the long-term effects of making him go into the real world between 18 and 99 years old and be effective. And the youth years is the most important years to be a stable man. You're going to adjust here and there, but you never had any masculinity in your life. I hear women saying sometimes, I don't want my son to be too aggressive. Why not? Men, boys especially, love to play rough. Why? They're testing their strength out. They're some strong individuals. They're not designed to sit down in the classroom and make ABC on the test and pass and go to college and be successful. No, men are taught to be aggressive because when the worst case scenario happens, what do you want to have? A weak man, or you want to have a strong man that can protect you and the kids? I'm going to guarantee it's going to be a stronger man. With all this being said, the point of this conversation is just to make sure that this son, husband, pandemic, epidemic, this experiment, it didn't work. It failed tremendously. Women, you're making the men soft by not having the father figure around. I get it. Maybe the father is no longer around. There better be an uncle. There better be a brother. There better be some type of man figure involved in the birth, the kid process, for him to gather the other side of his body. There's a feminine side, and there's a masculine side. All he sees the feminine side of it. He's going to grow up and he's going to conduct himself as a man, but he's really a pup. He's really a cub trying to be a lion. Hey, like, subscribe, follow the like, subscribe, comment on the video. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, cool. I don't care. This ain't for the views. Keep the party going.